Hi, welcome to Matchware Mindview 6. I'm going to have a look at the new options from Mindview 6 and Mindview 5 and go through them with you. So first thing we need to do is obviously start Mindview 6. Once started, click OK and this window will pop up. You'll probably see how it's changed. I think the interface now is a lot smoother and clearer. I do like the new from template options here. We don't have to go to new first, then access your templates. It's there visibly for you. So we've got the same options here as Mindview. You can choose your directions you want to create your mind maps from left to right, top down, even timelines. So you can do project management with Gantt Charts, or you can even see your work and your maps in linear format with the outline option. But I'm going to start with my map. Click that once, and I'm going to have a look at the new options. So first thing I'm going to do is close this bottom window, text note editor at the bottom, so I'll see the user interface better, and make sure that's in the middle. Remember the shortcut key, if you press F4 will bring your mind map into view. I'm just going to zoom back out, bottom right hand corner to 160. So let's have a look at a new option. Creating symbols is exactly the same. Put the cursor on the corner and double tap with the left mouse button or trackpad, and then it creates your first branch. Click delete button and get rid of it. Or you can right click on the symbol and select insert, scroll down and create branches that way. Or you can use the shortcut key, which is enter button on the keyboard, click delete. Or you can also access it at the top here through home tab on the ribbon. We've got branch and sub branch, and we click insert. We also have the options here. It gives you an extra option here, which is a pre-branch. So if I create a branch off here by clicking sub branch, now I can create a pre-branch. So for example, I'll just call that 1. Highlight 1, I might want a branch before that. That's when I select pre-branch, and then you can see it creates one before that. Right, so I want to start from scratch. I'm going to go File, My Map, and there's my first symbol. Now, looking at the top here, we have a few new options. In the Insert tab, as you can see, I've got an option here called Capture. I'm going to have a look at that in a minute. Also, if I go to View, we've got a few more options here with highlight, bookmarks, smart navigation, and the legend. We've got the legend in Mindview 5 as well, but I can show those options there. Also, I believe a new option here is with the referencing and bibliographies. You can actually save your bibliographies and copy them over from one map to another, which you couldn't do in Mindview 5, and we'll have a quick look at that. So let's start a quick map and then look at the new features. So I'm just going to type in there essay plan to start off with. Create your new branch. You can do that a couple ways again, but in this case I'm going to use the shortcut key enter. So press enter on the keyboard. You can also use the insert key if you want to create a sub branch off of that branch as well. So I'm just going to call this understanding the question and click off that. Make any errors there, just right click, correction, and remember left click, select it there. What I'm going to do if I go any further on this, I'm going to go to Smart Nav and do a left click on that, and it brings this little navigation open. You can leave open all the time as you access different maps. So see top left hand corner, I've got subject and essay plan. Subject was the first one I created here. If I double tap, it creates a new symbol, drag that down. Go back to essay plan, see that stays there, Smart Nav. What that enables me to do is zoom in. So for example, if I click focus, so I'm going to click understanding the question and select focus, and it focuses on the one you've highlighted. Also, I can use this option here, which is a fence zoom. So if I click this, I can create a rectangle around what I want to zoom into, and that's what I want to zoom into because that's what I create the rectangle around. Also, you've got a search option. Now if you're searching, you've got a big map going, you're searching for certain text. So I've got understanding the question, so I put UN in there. You can see it jumps straight to that first letters, and you can jump straight to that option, which is really good. Click on it, takes you straight there, especially if you've got a big map. And then you've got the option here which will zoom back to 100%. So you can leave that navigation bar open, because before you had to do it manually by going up to focus mode here or going bottom right hand corner to zoom in and out. So I think that's a nice little touch, so I'm going to leave that open. Let's carry on with my map. Now I've got essay plan, so let's just say you've had a lecture, essay plan. understanding the question, so create a branch off of that by double tapping the corner or click the insert key on the keyboard. I'm going to call this topic of essay. And remember, do a right click if there's any spelling errors, correction, and there's essay. Create another branch of understanding the question, so highlight it, use the insert key or double tap the corner, and I'm going to call this focus of essay. Now I'm going to use the legend option here now, so I'm going to select legend. I'm going to move the smart nav over to the right. Now what we can do is we can colour code stuff. For example, you can use a colour banding to help remember stuff or highlight subtopics or topics. So for example, I'm going to click plus and I'm going to add a colour. So I'm going to use red, and you see red's come up here. Click OK, and I'm going to have red as not finished. Again, you can rename whatever you want. Click another one, click the add button, add colour, and I'm going to use green for finished, and type finished in there. So you can use colour coding and banding to help you remember stuff. And there we go. So now I might go like topic of essay. Right, I've not finished that yet, so if I click on here, see the little tiny options here. You can apply or remove legend colour, highlight the branches that contain the legend item, and we can filter. So I'm going to click this button here, apply or remove legend colour. So you see I've clicked it, we've now got a colour code in there. Again, I'm going to focus of essay. Let's just say I filled in the information, I've finished with that. Again, choose the option there, and I can apply the legend colour. So I know red's not finished, green's finished when I come back. Let me go back to the topic of essay. I'm going to go back and bring up the little option again. Now if I click that again, it removes it. Saves you having to go up the top here, see what it says sub branch, because that's the one I've highlighted on topic of essay. Click format, then having to change the colours here. It just saves so much more time and it keeps you flowing with your work better. Okay, so bear that in mind. Now if I click plus here, I might actually want to add an icon. So I might have a priority number, as so. So I could put in there priority. So now whenever I click on something, focus of essay, I can then add that priority by clicking on it, and it comes up as 1. Again, saves you having to access it. So for example, if I go to insert, I'll have to find icons and add it that way. It's just a great shortcut key for you, just keeps you flowing. So that's a fabulous little option there, and to the right we have our smart navigation as well, and these both saves us time, which we didn't have in version 5. Let's carry on with my map. So just had a lecture, I need to understand the question, so topic of essay. So come up to the ribbon on insert and select text note, so we can add a bit of information on the topic of your essay. I just put in this as a topic on life. Again, if you need to get your ideas down, click on the beginning, and as you've opened a text note editor, look at the top ribbon, this pops up. So this gives all your formatting options when you open text note editor. So you can choose your fonts there, your font size, you can center your text, align left and right, and you've got your bullet points there as well, as so. So I'm going to close that and go to focus of essay again, and a text note, and you can add information in there on your essay. Right, let's go to essay plan and create another little branch off there. This time, to create a branch, I could press enter, I could double tap the corner, I could right click and select insert and add a branch that way as well. And I'm going to call this research. Now click on research. I could click the insert button, but I'm going to double tap the corner to create a branch this time off of that. And why don't we just call this web for now? So you've got a bit of research to do online. There's another new option in Mindview 6. So if I go back up to insert, it's called capture. So let's have a little look on how that works. So let me open up a website. I'm going to any random websites. I'm going to use the BBC News will do. I'm going to find a subcategory. Now let's open Mindview 6, and select the capture button, and there we go. When you click that button, Mindview 6 automatically goes in the background and the capture pops up. So let's look first. You might want to capture some text, doing a bit of research. So I'm going to press the text button on here, and that's asking me to select the text I want to capture. So I'm going to scroll down, how about on the money, and I might decide I want that paragraph. Then I come down and select capture text. You see it's got the title there. It's also got the URL, which is the website. Also, you can add any key words if you need them in there as well. So I'm now going to click save, and you can see automatically it's put as a paperclip, and it puts it in a text note. So if I left click on that, text note puts it at the bottom, and look at the bottom. I've got my quote, and I've also got my website where it come from. Now I'm just going to close that window, go back to the paperclip, and then do a right click on the link. See if it's got citation. Now that should be my citation list, so let me have a look at my sources. And there it is, it's stored in there. So you can store it and cite your work and use it as a bibliography reference. Obviously we haven't got all the information in there, so no problem, because you can click the year in there if you need be. The author, there's no author, then you can add the website. Standard number, you probably won't use referencing if you're using Harvard, and you've got the website title, so you can add all your information in there. But don't forget, click the plus button. It also does the year assess, month assess and day assess automatically, which is priority when you're referencing, especially using Harvard. I'm not sure whether you have to use that for APA psychology, but have a look up on that. So now I've got that stored in there, so when I come to cite my work, so click OK. So I can open up the paperclip, click on that. Now I might decide I don't actually want that citation there, so I can always delete it, but you can always add it again. So you go on the end of what you want to cite, go up to citation, left click insert citation, select the one you want, and then click insert, and it's back again. So it cites your work for you automatic. Really handy option. So that's a new feature they've just added. But let me also look at the other option in there. So I'm going to close the text note by clicking that button on the right. I'm going to go right back up to insert and click on capture again, because this time I decided I might want an image. So if I click image button, hold the left button, you can create a rectangle around what you want, just like the snipping tool on Windows 8 or screenshot. So I'm going to take a picture of that, and you can see again it's got the website title and it's also got the URL. This time I can choose to set as a branch picture, where it actually puts it in a symbol as a branch picture, or set as a branch attachment, which I'm going to do. Click save. So if I go to that paperclip that's highlighted, I should have two in there now. I've got the text and the image, and again if I right click that, go to citation, insert citation, I can use the original text, and if I want to I can also use the picture which I've now got stored as well. Really great for doing online research. So let me click back on research, create another little branch off of there. This time I could do a right click and insert, or I could use a shortcut key enter, or double tap the corner, but this time I'm just going to create one by going up here, clicking sub branch. And you're doing a bit of research, I've done websites, why not do a few journals? And here we go. So what I'm going to do is come up to the top, I'm going to add another text note there, so I can start adding all my research in here for books and journals. Let's imagine I've got a quote for a book. So let's do open quote, I'll just make this up. This is a quote. So let's say that come from a book. So what I need to do is scroll to the top, click the little arrow underneath citations and select manage sources with a left click. Now that's the one from the website. I'm imagining this quote is from a book. So we click add new. Choose the type. So this will be a book. You can see it covers films and journals and articles. So I'm just going to click book. Choose your language. I'm going to select English, and then this will search the Powered by WorldCat. Now if you actually click on the WorldCat hyperlink, it brings you to the website where you can access it by creating a username and password free. So you can access it through that way as well. But as it's all integrated into Mindview, you might as well use it off there because you can cite your work directly from here as well. So I'm just going to put any book in, see what I get up, and I'm just going to type in quote. And do a search, and then I'm going to choose any book. I should use that one there. Now click select, and then you have your source information for that book. The only thing it doesn't show you there, actually, if you look here, is publisher. So you need to find a publisher for the book and add it in there. But I'm just going to leave that blank for now, but make sure you put the publisher in. Click OK. And now I've got my website, and I've also got my book source. Click OK. So now I can add that to here. So I'll have my quote here, and all my information, my source for that quote. So go back up to citation, left click insert citation, this time it's the book, say what page you got that quote from, I just say 89, click insert, and all that information is now stored. Click enter. So you've got your books and journals. For your first book you've got your quote, then you've got your reference for that next to it, and let's do another one. So should we do a journal? So let's imagine it's come from a journal. Right, so I've got another quote from a journal. So again, click up to citation, click the arrow at the bottom, left click manage sources. We're doing a new one, so click add new. This time I'm going to select journal articles, choose your language, English, and then I'm going to type it in there. Bear in mind, if you're using books and you've got the ISBN number of that book, type that in the search and it will find you a exact book for you. Same goes with journals. I believe you have a DOI number, so put that in if you've got it. It'll make the searching a lot easier for you for the source. I'm just going to type in health and click the search button. Now so you've got a mixture of books and journals, so make sure you look what you're selecting. So I'm going to choose, so add new, I'm going to choose American Journal of Public Health, select there. Any information missing, then you have to add manually there. Okay, you can click OK, then you've added it to your source list. All prepared to cite your work with when you start writing your essay. Remember, with this map we're planning your essay, from essay plan, understanding your question, getting your topic down of your essay and what you're going to focus on, then you're doing your research with web, and then you're doing your books and journals research, and then you can add the information there. So with the cursor at the end, click on citation, insert citation, click the journal, click insert, and now you're storing all your sources into one map. Really handy when you're planning your essay. So I'm going to close that. Again, I might think, right, I've finished all my research, that's good. So if I click on research, I could use the finish button there by clicking on that button there. And the same goes if I highlight all of them, I can click the finish button there as well. So I know I've finished. Well, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. Now click on essay plan, and let's create another little branch. Now I've used the enter key, I've done a right click to create a branch, and I've also used the ribbon at the top. Whatever's easy for you, but I do find actually tapping the corners easier and keep it flowing. This you could call plan and organize your ideas, as so. Click back on the option here. You see when I click on focus mode here, it also affects the focus mode here, which is your shortcut key F3, which is in your home. So you can zoom in and out quickly as well. Depends on how you want to use that. Or remember the little home button. But actually I'm going to come out a little bit, so I'm going to come out to about 100. So plan and organise, so now you can start typing in and planning and organising all your ideas by adding a text note here. And last of all, create another little branch off of there, and you could even put that as your draft if you want. You've got your draft, click on it and create 3 branches off of there. So let's create a little branch off of there. So you can double tap the corner, double tap the corner again, and click on draft and double tap the corner again. Now I'm going to click off focus mode so it doesn't keep jumping back and forth, depends on how you want to work that. Got 1, 2, 3. So the first one you could call intro, main body and conclusion. And for each option you can then add a text note in the home ribbon as so, and add your draft in by breaking it down into 3 sections to start you off with. So it's a good way to start planning your work. Now you're ready to write your essay. So let's create a new mind map. You can click Ctrl N, brings it up quickly here, and I will select mind map standard one. Now you see at the top here I can still access my essay plan there, and if you need to save your essay plans, click File and select Save As. I'm just going to close this first tab because we don't need that anymore with the X, and I'm not going to save that. So I've got my essay plan, and now I'm going to start writing my essay. So let's give the essay a title. I just call it Health. And remember to create a branch, double tap, and we'll call this intro. Click back in the middle, create another branch, we'll just call this para 2, and we'll do one more. Double tap the corner for your third paragraph or chapter, however you want to work it. Now to make sure it always works 1 o'clock clockwise, so 1 o'clock when we export it to Word will be your first paragraph. But if you're unsure, go to the ribbon, we'll see we're in the Home tab, select numbering and select a numbering scheme, and there we go. So if I grab para 3, hold the left button and drag it all the way up, you can see it then changes para 3 to para 1 when we export it, so that will be your first paragraph. Drag it all the way back down and we're back down to paragraph 3. So let's make a start. So you can always go back to your essay plan tab here, have a look at your draft which you've done to help you. Let's go back to your essay. So you want to start writing your first paragraph, but why don't we break that first paragraph down into subcategories so you can add the required content to each part of your paragraph. So we're taking the paragraph, we're going to break that down into subsections so you make sure you put the correct content in and you're focusing on what you need to put in. So I'm on intro. Now I'm going to use the insert key, or you can double tap the corner, whatever's easier, and then you want to just put in there what you're going to talk about in your first paragraph and the first part. So shall I just put in, I'll just make anything, health aspects. So my first paragraph, my first part, I'm going to talk about health aspects. Create another little paragraph off of there by double tapping the corner. Now this can be the middle part of your first paragraph or the end part. It's entirely up to how you want to work this. I'm going to put in health plans. That will be the middle part of my first paragraph. So I need one more, double tap, and I'm going to put in healthcare. So there's my first paragraph, which I broke down into 3 sections. The first part of my first paragraph, middle, and end part. And as you can see by the numbering, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So if you need to drag them into order, you might want to drag that up, and then it changes with that. Okay, but I'm going to pull healthcare back down. So let's click on health aspects. So I need to add my information into there for the first part of my first paragraph. So come up to insert, and in the ribbon select text note, and they can start typing in about health aspects. So on Control 3, something I've already got there in there. What I want to show you on this is, as you're writing your essay, we can always go back to essay plan, then access the information we need there. For example, you've got loads of your sources here that we can use for your bibliography and citations. So why don't we take all that and put it into your other map? And let me show you how that works. So if I go back to health, now click into your text document, you see here if I go to citation, manage sources, there's nothing in there. They don't copy over. They've added a new option that enables you to do that in Mindview 6. So go back to essay plan. Again, click into text editor, or you can access it in the ribbon at the top. And I want you to select manage sources, and then they all are. So why don't we export them? In my name, it could be the health essay, so you've got all your references for your health. I'm going to save it to my desktop and click save, and click OK. Now let's go back to my essay. I'm going to import all these sources in ready so I can start citing my work with. So go to citation, the ribbon, select manage sources and choose the import button. On the import, scroll down to where it says health or whatever you named it, open it up, and now they're all stored there for me to cite my work as I go along. So let me show you how this works. So let's go full stop. Let's say you want to use a quote from your essay plan. You want to use it in your essay. So let me go to books and journals, open that up. Now I'll say I'm going to use that quote at the beginning there. Highlight it, Control C or just right click and copy. Go to your essay and then paste it in where you want it. Actually, should I put it here? So I'm going to do Control V. And there it is. It's all pasted in there. Plus you've also got the reference citation there as well. And then I might think, right, I'll come back to that. So I'm going to close that window. I might go to the middle part of my first paragraph again. Add your text note. Pop in some information on health plans. I just typed anything in there just to show you. Imagine that you're referencing that. So again, I just put anything in there. So what I'm going to do, you might go, right, essay plan. I want to use another quote I've got earlier, so why not highlight it? So I'm going to highlight the second one down, which was health issue. Control C or right click and copy. Go to your essay and paste it there. And there it is. So now what I can do as well, you can either copy and paste it over the citation, or the reason why I imported it into here, watch, is when I click insert citation, which is the one I wanted. There it is, which is the American Journal of Public Health, and click insert and it inserts the citation. Don't worry about how the citation looks, we can change that when we export it to Word, because people can use from Harvard, APA or footnotes. It depends on what you're studying. So let me close that window. So there we go. We've got your first paragraph broke down into 3 sections there. That's a good way to work actually, to plan it bit by bit. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to export that to Word to see how it looks. Before I do that, let me just go a quick overview of the ribbon at the top so you know what everything does. Starting in the Home tab, we're a branch. We know you can create a branch or sub-branch, or you can use the Enter key or Insert key. Text note creates a text note at the bottom so you can then type in your text. It's best to do that because it keeps everything tidy, so when you export it to Word it's all structured. So bear that in mind. Branch picture. Now I can add a picture. For example, I've got health. Now what I could do is, if I go to the right, we've got an option there called Multimedia Catalog. If I open it up, just going to close Smart Nav for the moment. Now see the clip art option, and then I can type in there something to do with health. And if I scroll down, I might decide, there's my symbol, I'm going to hold the left button and drag that over and drop it in. And there you go. Great for visual mapping. Or you might not find what you want in the clip art, doesn't matter. Because for example, if I go up to health here, you might go, well actually I want to add my own pictures. Well, why don't we pop open Google, click in the middle and let's go Google Images. And you can add your own branches in there. And let's just type health. Pick anything really for the second, so that looks quite good. So do a right click on it, select save image as. I'll just save it to my desktop for now, but you save it to your pictures or folders if need be, and I'll leave it default download, but obviously you rename that. Now if I open up Mindview, I've highlighted that symbol, so click branch picture, go to my desktop, and I should have that picture on there which I can just double click and it attaches it, giving it that visual mapping. So really easy to do. So remember, multimedia catalog on the right, and also you can add your own from any images really, or some you might have already stored. Now attachment, that's great for doing vision maps because you can attach anything to it. So let's say health plans. Let's go to healthcare. So I want to attach something to that. Now I wouldn't attach anything to this map because it's an essay I'm trying to do. So I don't want to attach stuff, I just want to add text notes so that I can export it structured as an essay. But if I was doing an essay plan, then you might have stuff you want to attach to here. For example, fragments of essay, you might have a Word document you want to attach there. Or for example, books and journals. You might have a journal in a PDF format you want to attach, so highlight it, select attachment, and then find a PDF. I'll go to documents and I'll attach anything for now to kind of show you how it works. That will do. Click on the paperclip and you can see it attaches itself. Really useful option. So you can attach PDFs, videos, doesn't really matter, because anything you open opens up its own application with the attachment button. Now I've got web here. Remember I used the option up here with web, and I went to insert and used the capture button, and then I was able to get the web and the web link and everything. But if you go back to home, you can also do it by highlighting web, click hyperlink, and then you can type the name of the website in there. I just put Google. That's just a name, not the hyperlink. The hyperlink goes in underneath. So let's just copy that, open up Mindview, and I'm going to paste it into here and click OK. So I've added it that way, so now I'll have a little list of just a website. Now remember, with this option it doesn't grab the source for you as well. It just, if I click on that, it will open up the website wherever you linked it to. So you could use that option actually to go to the website if you're thinking of looking at research, and then once you're on there, why not create a little branch off of there? So I could use the insert button, and then you can start adding your research with the capture button for those websites. Entirely up to you how you want to work that, but the options are endless. Click back at the top here. 100% does what it says, it's assuming 100%. Remember, we got that option with that navigation bar I showed you earlier. Focus mode, we looked at apply branch focus. So if I click on books and journals and I click the button, then that's all you will see. Nothing else that you can work just on that symbol, so you can concentrate. Clear branch focus takes it back off. Numbering scheme, again, click on it, choose a numbering scheme and number it from 1, 2 all the way around, including 1.1. Now map view, click on that. Now I'm choosing the basic map view, but you can choose top down if you prefer. Some people kind of work better that way, and left to right, so you can choose how you want to work and how you want to structure your stuff. Don't know about timeline. I do timeline in another video, and also do your project management later. Could be useful. I'm going to go back to the actual essay tab, health, and I want to go to outline view, which is this linear format. Now you can see your essay, how it's starting to look in linear format. Now don't worry about start end, this is for Gantt charts and stuff, but if you right click on here, you can untick what you don't want. You might go, actually I don't want all that there, so you can right click, left click and untick what you don't want. So here's your text that you're working on, and it's got your citations there as well, and these are the paper clips. If I click on that, and that's what you're actually looking at with the paper clips, because remember we added a text note to each symbol, and in this case it's telling you there's an actual picture there as well. If you double click it, it brings up that image. So it's a great way to see it in linear format as well. But I'm going to go back up to view, I want to take it back to Mindview again, and go back to my map and close that bottom window. Go to the insert tab. Again, you've got your branch, sub-branch and pre-branch. We know you can add text notes. Let's just go to health plan. You might go, actually I want to add a little comment on there quickly, so I can add a little comment. It could be a reminder, it could be anything you want to put in there, but need to hit the library. So every time I hover over, it brings that up. By the way, if I hold the left button, you can drag that where you want. So if I close it, click on it, it will open up wherever you drag it to. When you send that to a Word document, that will actually show up as a comment. I'll show you that when we export it. Close that window. Floating comment. I'm going to go back to essay plan. You can use a floating comment wherever you want. Now, I'm going to click on essay plan, which I'm on, but I'm going to choose floating comment. You can type in a comment in there. Say 2 days left to finish. Hold the left button, drag it up, and you can see a little link there with it there. Also on essay plan, you can add a branch picture, which I showed you on the other option. Attachment, again, I showed you attachment. You can actually record your own audio notes here if you want. So I might go topic of essay, click sound, then I can record a quick note in there. So if I click record, I must do more work on my topic of essay. click stop. If you're happy with that, click play first and click the little tick, and you can choose where you're going to save it to. I just call it sound wave, and then if you go over there, make sure you know where you're saving it to, it's going to save, and then click sound wave and it will play back for you. Again, hyperlink, I showed you that as well. Branch connection. Now you might want to connect two ideas together, or a reminder. For example, if you're doing an idea map, you might go, right, main body might have something to do with plan and organize. So what you do is you click branch picture and click on the two you want to connect. So I'll click on plan and organize and main body. See the link now? If I actually click on that link and go to the top, I can then change all the formatting options for that branch. So I can have bi-directional arrow there if I require. I can change the line colour, which I'll make red, and even the thickness, width, as so it stands out more. And you can even choose different styles, and there's loads there to play around with if you need to. Now that works for everything, so if I click on that symbol there, again you see at the top here ribbon, sub branch, I can change all the options for the sub branch. Even a fill colour, like a gradient colour if I want, so if I click on that, a bit of yellow there, livens it up a bit. Also the line option is a link to it, so if I click red, see the link down here, it's gone to red, then on that line option I can create a thickness for it to stand out if need be. Hope that's all making sense so far. Also, because I've highlighted that branch, I can even change the branch shape there. Not many to choose from, but there's a few there. If you're not happy, click reset and it goes back to its default. Okay, so I'm going to go back to insert. Citation option now in the insert, so you can access your sources there, and there they are. Icons, click on that and you've got icon list there as well, and you can even add custom icons if you want at the bottom. Task info, I'll show you that later with task management and also project management timelines. I'll do a different video for that. And the capture option I showed you, which is great for doing research online. Review, got spell check document, click in that and spell check your whole document for you here. Also in review, we've got set language, it should be set to British English. I'll have a look sometimes because it's on American English as default. They might have changed that now, but always have a quick look at that. Also in review will be good is spelling options. You can change your spelling options here, including autocorrect. But also I think you'll find this document statistics, because if you have to create an essay and use limited words, then that will be really useful to see what your word count is there. And there's the word count there, a total of 120, so you can keep an eye on that. This is new as well. We're just gonna close that window. So next I'm going to have a look in review. Next I'm going to look at predictive suggestion. Now this is for symbols. I don't think it works in text notes. So I've got a symbol down there, so as I type it, try and predict the word I'm going to type in. I was going to type in complex. See, it's suggesting, click on that, puts the word in for you. I don't think it works on text note. Let's have a look for you. I don't think it works in text note, so I'm going to add a text note. Make sure it's on, and let's type a word. No, it doesn't. Only works for your symbols, but it's a good way to get your ideas down and use the predictive suggestions to help you get what you need down. So that's the review option. You can also say narrate. So for example, we should read back. So if I click on narrate, and it's just read back for me. You probably didn't hear that, but whatever you click on, it will then read back. So if I click narrate,
focus of essay,
and it reads it back, or you can use the shortcut key F5. I'm just going to turn off predictive suggestions. These are all your sources we got in there. Find and replace, so you can find what you're looking for and replace it, branch text, and you can track changes that you've made to your document by going previous or next. Share, you can use the online option here. You can go to online workspace and create an account. View, a lot of these options are integrated. For example, if I come along here and click simple interface, I always leave it, and we have map view, which I showed you. You can change the direction of your map as so. Timeline, don't worry about. Outline we know turns into linear format, as so. But again, you go back to view and turn it back to your map again. Zoom in and out, and you've got your zooming options here, and also your focus mode. Now detail level, now let's have a look here. We've got level 1, 2. So we've got some levels here, so what we do is if you click detail level, so if I click level 1, it will only show me level 1. Click it back on. If I want to see level 3, it shows me level 3. Great way to break down your map quickly, so finding what you're looking for and working on. Let's click back on the middle. Again, you can apply branch focus to go straight in or clear it. Remember the bottom right hand corner, you can zoom in and out the same as you do in Word as well. You can filter, for example, you might want to filter out not finished, or you might want to filter finished and it shows everything that's finished, or you might even want to filter anything where you've got a priority on, so it filters that for you. So these are great options for you to navigate your map and organise stuff quickly so you know what you're working on. Bookmarks, I haven't shown you this yet. This is really good. So let's click on books and journals you might be working on. Let's add a bookmark to that, so I'll click add bookmark. Come back up here, you might go, I want a bookmark for that. Just the same as a book, so you can jump back to it at a later date. So if you've got a map and you're busy, click bookmark and you can jump straight to where you bookmarked that symbol. So if I click there, it jumps straight back there. And then you can remove bookmarks as well if you need to. So click on the one you want to remove, view, and then you can remove your bookmarks by clicking remove bookmarks. Again, we look at a smart nav there, zoom in and out. Also legend, colour legend. So if I click that off, it's gone. And click it, turn it back on. Now show branch data, that'll be more interesting when we do Gantt charts and timelines. And you've got your presentation mode, click on that and use the option to navigate in presentation mode, and you see it goes through each symbol, and click the X to close it. The other option is design, and this is basic design. So again, we've got direction of your map. So for example, you might actually want right to left or left to right, top down, and you can choose which kind of order you want. Also the styles are good because you can change the style of your map quickly. Let me show you what I mean. So F4 brings it straight into the middle. Click the drop down arrow and choose a style. Well, actually just hover over, you don't even have to press it, and you can see the styles changing, so you can change the styles quickly. And in fact you can even create one there. So that style I might want to keep, I'll click new. So we can click on what we want and change how we want it to look. So I might just do a quick style like that. I might decide that I want certain symbols a different way, so I might want that more circular, so they've all gone circular. So create just one template, and even your branch shape you might want one way all the time. So I'll click on branch shape and change how you want everything. So I actually want that shape, and then I want to change the route, more of a cloud. So there's my template. So that's your styles. If you've got a big map, you compact it all, bring it all together, or click it to turn it off. Change the colour scheme. If I just wait for that to come up and then hover over, you can see colour codes level 1s for you automatically. Route shape, change the route shape, and branch shapes, and that will change all the branch shapes as well. And you can reset the style if need be there as well. Font colour, page colour background, and you've even got a page pattern there you can use if you need to, as so. Let me leave it on default. And there's your formatting options depending on what you've clicked on individually. So should we send this to Word, see what it looks like? So it's my health essay. There's my first paragraph, which I broke down into 3 sections. I'm not sure if I want to export the picture, but we'll have a look in a minute. So go up to File, scroll down to Export, choose where you're going to export to. As you can see down here, we've got mobile applications including rich text format, picture format. I think it gives us a choice to save as JPEG as well there. You've got PDF, portable document format, and you've got your PowerPoint there for presentations and Word. So I'm going to click Word for now. Always choose Advanced to set it up. Now you need to choose your bibliography style, so I'm going to leave that on Harvard. Then click General. Now I need to choose what I'm actually going to export from that map. So I really don't want a title page, so I'm going to untick that. If you click Document Information, you can add information to your title page if need be. So I don't want the map exported. Also, I don't want my table of contents. I do want bibliography because remember I cited a few things there. Now text notes I do want because that's where I've added my information for each paragraph. Branch picture. Now I'm not going to have the branch picture because it will come up in the text here. So I'm going to untick branch picture. I have got no floating pictures, floating comments I haven't got. Comments, I can export that if I want. I'm just going to untick that for now actually. And now I'm ready to go. Click export. I'll save it to my desktop as health. Click open document. And let's see how it's come out. Click yes to update any fields. So there's my title of my essay. There's my first paragraph intro, which I broke down into 3 parts here. You can see there are 3 headers. So what I could do with this now, actually, I could actually delete that and delete that and join my paragraph as one. Now I've structured and organised it, and then click delete to join them together. You see the second one there. If I come down to my bibliography, and there we go. Any bibliography you don't want, just highlight and get rid of. So you might go, actually didn't use the online one, no problem. Click on it and just delete it. And there you go. Now that doesn't look like the reference style Harvard, so if I highlight that, go to the reference tab at the top and look at your citations and bibliography. I'm going to choose, you can choose Angular or Exeter. I'm going to choose Exeter, and there we go. There's my reference. And again, if you don't want anything, just highlight it, and you're done. You've got your bibliography at the bottom of your work. And again, don't worry too much about this because you can always align it to where you want anyway, and add your certain fonts or font size and also your line spacing. Let's close that and don't save. So there's a few basics to get you up and running on that. I hope that was a help. And finally, we're going to look at predictive suggestions built into the Mindview 6. This is great because this will predict words as you're typing, and you can even personalise it to predict the kind of words you're using in your topic. For example, if you create a map on a specific subject, then you can use that criteria in your next essay or mind map you're doing. Also, it's got built-in websites that you can use, as well as XML. XML is an extensible markup language. It's a set of rules for encoding documents in a format which is both human readable and also the machine reads it. But you also need a bit of coding to be able to do that. But it's definitely worth a quick look at. So I'm going to click OK. There's a map I've just created. So you can see I've just started with 4. So I've got my medicine in the middle, and then I've got some pharmaceutical medicines going round. Now what I've done is I've saved this. Let me show you how I did this. I've saved this to a map, Mindview map, and then I put it in a folder so I can assess it later and use those words. So what I want you to do is come up to the option and click Review, and you've got Predictive Suggestion. Now click on it and select the second option down, Suggestion Source, and I want you to go up where it says Suggestion Sources here. You see I've already ticked it here. Now a quick way of doing this to get you up and running, I'd say, quick way of doing this will be, there's a Mindview map. So there's a Mindview map as a suggestion for Mindview, and it's got different countries of the world and that. So when we tick that, it will start bringing out suggesting words from that map. But I've selected Med, and all I've got is 4 there at the moment. But then again, I can add to that. So all you do is go to New and click New Mindview map, and this pops up. And then give a name to your Mindview map. It might be science, it could be something general, generic. And then the path of your Mindview map, so you find your path. In this case, I've actually put the file in a suggestion folder within Mindview to keep it all together.
So put that in, scroll down, and we should have the match where Mindview 6, and I put it into the suggestion data folder. And there it is. I like to keep them all together, but you can create your own folders. And then you add your path, and then you input your strings. Also, advanced settings, you need your X path and part, so you can assess exactly what it's looking for and search. If you get a bit stuck with that at first, don't worry. You can choose the path I just showed you. Go back, click cancel, go back up to the template one there, click edit, click advanced settings, and then you can copy that. Click cancel, and then copy that into your new one if you want to. So there's my med one. So click on that. Also, you can use more than one. You might say, actually, I want to use the C's database. So if I click on edit, and if I start typing in some input strings, let's put H and see what I get for diseases. And there we go. I've got head and neck, neoplasm, headache disorders. So you can see how useful this can be. So if I was to put in, you can see it's bringing up my drugs as well. So what we'll do is click cancel, close that. So I can choose which ones I want. If you're familiar with XML files, then you can click edit. You can edit one there, or create your new ones by going new and adding XML, database, or internet links. But I'm just going to untick them. I'm just going to leave my med one. And I've only got 4 in there. But let's see if it works. Click OK. So I need to do a new map. So I'm going to do Control N. And I'm going to leave it on my map. And let's give it a go. So I'm going to type in medicines again. So let's just say I've come back later and I'm doing a project on medicines. Click into here. Now make sure you're in review, make sure it's on. That's off. Highlighted suggests it's on. Now let's start typing. So you see I put A in, and for my other map, those are the 4 pharmaceutical words I had there. So I can just go right. That would do lovely. And click on it. Now if I go back to predictive suggestions and select suggestion sources again, you might go, actually I need more input than that. I possibly need diseases. And also I need some text help suggestions from click OK. And let's do that again. So I'll come back into here and I'm going to type in A. As you see, it gives me more information than I originally had. That was in the other map I added. So you can see what a powerful option that can be, and definitely worth using. So that's in your review tab, and it's called predictive suggestions. Have a look at that. Thanks for watching.